Yeah, I mean, I think, look, to some extent, it all starts with China. I think China's worth $300 to $400 a share, just given what we're seeing in Giga 3, as well as the demand trajectory. I mean, we could see 150,000 units first year out. And I think it really comes down to, this delivery number we saw last week, 90,000, that was a jaw drop. You put that all combined, it's a profitable Tesla. And right now, the trajectory could be 1 million delivery units in the next 2 years. And that's really how we get to a $2,000 bull case.
Phil, I'm curious, since you talk to so many automakers all day long and executives, what do they make? I'm talking about the rivals now. What do they make of just the price move in Tesla's stock?
Oh, they think it's wacky. They say that there's no way that you can value this company to be where it's at right now. Adam Jonas brings up a great point, and I don't know if we can bring up a chart of Tesla over the last week. In the last week, he points out that Tesla's valuation has increased every single day by the entire amount of the market cap of Ford. You think about that. Every single day, its valuation is jumping about $25 billion in the last week. And that's why when you talk with people in the auto industry, separate from their comments about Elon Musk, and there's, I think, a combination of envy as well as frustration that they feel like here's a guy who just says stuff and it's wacky and it's out in left field, especially about things like self-driving cars and technology that's not fully developed. On the other hand, there is an element of people within the auto industry who will admit that what Tesla has done here, particularly when you look at the software management system and the battery system, they're impressed with what Tesla has done. And while they will not say that publicly, they will admit that Tesla has gone out and has essentially carved out that area of the future for the auto industry, and they've become the leader.
Dan, in terms of the stock move and just listening to what Phil was talking about, how much of it do you think is the retail investor? We talk about the retail investor pressing these stocks, but I have to assume this is institutional money.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I could compare it. I'd say 6 to 9 months ago, many institutional investors, I mean, they almost were viewing it laughing that the stock was moving like it was, wouldn't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. Now, those same investors digging deep into the model to understand where deliveries could be in the next 2 to 3 years. What's the fundamental value? If you have a 1 million-mile battery, what does that add to the stock? So, of course, there's a huge retail component, but I can tell you smart money, a 180 in terms of what I'm seeing in Tesla, because it comes down to scarcity. How do you play the EV market? And kind of as Phil talked about, it all comes down to the P word, profitability. Now Musk, Fremont, they're doing it in a profitable way. And then you have Cybertruck, which we believe has 700,000 pre-orders going to 2022.
Dan, I don't know, if you've ever been in an environment where the disparity on the street, amongst price targets, et cetera, is so wide. I mean, JP Morgan raised its price target yesterday to, I think, 295 or something like that. I mean, and then we got a street high yesterday actually, you're the street high, I think, of 2,000. But when you say China, for instance, is $200 to $300 on the stock, we've seen the stock go up by that much in just the past few days. I mean, at what point do you start thinking we're pricing this good news in, or what we can know is the good news? You mentioned the unknowable of the battery, but that's down the line and that's sort of in the future. And I don't think that you would put that into your stock model at this point. There's got to be a grounding, right, in valuation at this point.
Yeah, and right now, I don't think million-mile batteries built into the stock. I sort of view it as how quickly can they get to $20, $25 earnings power? Because that's really going to be the linchpin. I think what's key now, 90,000 deliveries, you'll see profitability. But then going forward, you start to see Europe spiking back in terms of demand. You look at China and the U.S. If you're talking about 1 million deliveries in the next 2 years, I don't think that that's factored in. And to your point on disparity, 20 years covering tech stocks, it's probably the most disparity I've seen in terms of bull and bear. This is an emotional bull-bear story. The haters will hate, but it comes down to this. Those delivery numbers speak for itself, especially in a dark COVID-19 pandemic and just a soft macro. I think that was the linchpin to move the stock higher.